500 years ago, a bad harvest could kill your family. Today, a message saying, "Can we talk?" can ruin your entire evening. Your life has never been safer. So why does your brain still behave as if danger is everywhere? The answer begins with a distinction. Danger is what can harm you. Stress is how your body reacts to what might harm you, cost you something, or push you beyond your ability to cope. The two often overlap, but they are not the same. You can face real danger and feel calm for a moment. You can also sit safely in your bedroom while your heart races over a conversation that has not happened. Now imagine waking up in 1526. Life varied enormously by location and social rank. But picture an ordinary rural family in Europe, where most people lived close to the land. Your day begins with light, animals, bells, and work waiting outside. The harvest is not a lifestyle choice. It is survival stored in sacks. One season of bad weather can reduce the food available for months. Several failures can push a community toward famine. There is no supermarket, refrigerator, or reliable forecast. You watch the sky because the sky can decide whether your children eat. Then there is illness. A small wound can become infected. Contaminated water can spread disease. Childbirth is dangerous. Epidemics arrive without anyone understanding bacteria or viruses. Antibiotics and vaccines do not exist. Before modern public health, life expectancy at birth often remained between 30 and 40 years. High child mortality pulled the average down, and many parents buried children. War could move through your region. Soldiers could take food, animals, or shelter. Your rights depended heavily on your location, sex, religion, and social rank. A conflict with the wrong person could threaten your livelihood or freedom. If stress means exposure to forces capable of destroying your health, family, or future, the past appears overwhelming. By that measure, modern life wins. Clean water, sanitation, vaccines, antibiotics, safer childbirth, reliable food systems, and emergency services have removed dangers that shaped ordinary life for centuries. Your ancestors would consider a pharmacy miraculous. But safety changed faster than the machinery inside your skull. Your stress response evolved to help you act when something important was at stake. Your alertness rises, your heart speeds up, and energy moves toward immediate survival. That reaction is useful when an animal charges or a fire reaches the roof. It is less useful when the threat is a performance review next Thursday. Your body responds not only to physical danger, but also to rejection, humiliation, uncertainty, and loss of status. Human survival has always depended on other humans. 500 years ago, being rejected by your community could be catastrophic. Neighbors helped with food, shelter, children, and defense. Belonging was part of the survival system. That is why a modern message reading, "Can we talk?" can feel like a predator hiding nearby. The predator is imaginary. The uncertainty is real. Modern life has transformed many threats into signals, deadlines, comparisons, and predictions. Before breakfast, your brain can encounter a war, a flood, a market crash, a disease outbreak, and the anger of hundreds of strangers. The information may be real, but your body cannot respond meaningfully to most of it. You cannot run from a headline. You cannot fight an algorithm. You cannot finish the internet. Your attention keeps finding threats, yet action rarely brings closure. Many older tasks produced a visible ending. You carried the water and the container was full. You repaired the fence and the fence stood. You prepared the food and people ate it. This does not mean historical stress was brief. Famine, war, debt, oppression, and disease could continue for years. Peaceful images of village life often erase enormous suffering. But modern work creates a different problem. You answer one email and receive 3 more. You finish a project and immediately see the next target. Your inbox refills while you sleep. The work may be less physically dangerous, but it often feels psychologically unfinished. Your body waits for a conclusion that never arrives. Then there is choice. Modern freedom lets you choose where to live, what to study, whom to marry, and what kind of person to become. Those choices are precious. But every choice creates a life you did not choose. 500 years ago, family, class, geography, and tradition often assigned your path. Those limits could be cruel, yet they reduced the number of futures you were expected to evaluate. Today, identity can feel like a project with no final deadline. You are told to find the ideal career, relationship, body, purpose, and version of yourself. If the result disappoints you, unlimited possibility can make it feel like your fault. Comparison has expanded too. Envy did not begin with social media. But the comparison group was smaller. Now you compare your ordinary Tuesday with selected moments from millions of lives. You see a stranger's result without seeing its cost. Your social world has grown beyond the scale your emotions evolved to manage. At the same time, you can contact hundreds of people and still have nobody nearby who would notice you had not eaten. Historical communities could be controlling, intolerant, and violent. Still, daily life often included repeated face-to-face contact, shared rituals, and practical dependence on neighbors. Modern mobility offers independence. It can also produce isolation. That is the central contradiction. 500 years ago, people generally had less safety, less freedom, and far less control over tragedy. But many lived within clearer routines, smaller information worlds, and tighter communities. Today you often have more safety and freedom, but also more comparison, more abstraction, and more responsibility for building a perfect life from endless options. So who was more stressed? There is no honest numerical answer. Nobody measured stress across a representative population in 1526. Historical records cannot be compared directly with modern psychological surveys. Still, the pattern is clear. 500 years ago, stress was more likely to come with immediate physical danger, harsh consequences, and little protection from bad luck. Modern stress is usually less lethal, but wider in reach and harder to switch off. It follows you into bed through work, money, relationships, news, and the pressure to improve yourself. Several alarms remain active without a clear moment when your body can stand down. This is chronic stress. Chronic simply means continuing for a long time. Your stress response is built for emergencies. When it stays active, it can disrupt sleep, mood, concentration, and health. The system that protects you during danger can wear you down when everything feels urgent. That does not mean modern life is worse. It explains why greater safety does not automatically create greater calm. Your nervous system still looks for what older lives often provided naturally: clear endings, physical movement, face-to-face belonging, and periods without incoming information. You do not need the dangers of the past to recover some of its boundaries. Finish one concrete task. Walk without carrying the entire world in your pocket. Share food with someone. Let darkness mean that the day is ending. These actions cannot solve poverty, trauma, unsafe work, illness, or a mental health condition. But understanding the mismatch can remove one unnecessary layer of shame. Your nervous system is not defective because it reacts to a message. It is using ancient equipment in an environment filled with invisible alarms. The person living in 1526 would probably choose your medicine, food security, rights, and longer life. You might still envy the silence after sunset. 500 years ago, a bad harvest could kill your family. Today, danger is far less likely to take your life, but its signals can still take over your mind.